It's been a long time coming. It's been 3 years since my last dolphin video, which means 3 Halloweens have gone by with this aquatic thug wiener going unchecked. Not this time. This is
Wait, did you just say thug wiener? Oh my god. This is gonna be a video.
Titanic smiling sausage, Davy Jones' delinquent offspring, this audacious ocean hippo, we'll get to that. The dolphin is a breathing, breaching hate boner, and their psychopathic tendencies come from their intelligence. Dolphins are arguably the smartest things alive without thumbs or launch codes, which allows them to manipulate the world around them, including the animals in it. Dolphins will reportedly harass pufferfish into releasing poison, which apparently they get obliterated off of, resulting in a literal nightmare rotation. It isn't scientifically proven that dolphins get elevated and hella faded off a spicy stress ball. The alternative is
spicy stress ball. Oh my god. We're in for this. I missed his videos. Oh my god.
Is the Jots of the Sea playing handball with a living puffer, and that's probably the most child-friendly form of dolphin recreation. I'm gonna have to get real creative with the way I describe this, but dolphins will stick their little dolphin dorks wherever they desire, including the disembodied heads of decapitated fish, which might have just been a one-off if researchers didn't also witness a bottlenose wrap live wriggling eels around their stick shift. We've also witnessed 2 river dolphins treating an anaconda like a pool noodle, except the photographer took a closer look and noticed something. The snake was likely dead, like in a reptile dysfunction, which only one of them would know about since both dolphins' privates were standing very much at attention. Workers at the Dolphin Research Center also got a nasty surprise when they discovered baby nurse sharks finding their way into the lagoon and the waterlogged hot dogs using them as volleyballs. Dolphins might be the only animals to use other living animals as tools, with a group of dolphins discovering that they could use live sponges as snout guards as they scrape the sea floor. It's not proven sponges can
That was a lot to unpack. Holy shit. I knew dolphins were smart and could use tools and whatnot, but I'm having a moment. I've been bamboozled. Considering you flabbergasted. Because this is a lot. That's a whole lot to take in. You know, we would be fucked if dolphins could walk on land and talk. We'd be so screwed.
Feel pain, but it makes no difference to these brine bullies. If a dolphin can use another creature as a pawn, it will. That's how one dolphin created a whole seagull murder ring just for some extra fish. Basically, Kelly the dolphin had an unspoken agreement with her trainer where she'd get rewarded with fish every time she helped clean litter from her tank, including expired seagulls. So Kelly would hide a fish during feeding and then use it to bait seagulls when no one was looking, only to snatch them, drown them, and exchange the waterboarded bird for more fish. Not only that, but Kelly taught her daughter the same trick, ensuring the seagull side circle goes on at least another generation. Another time a dolphin's brain was someone else's downfall was down in the Gulf of Mexico, where biologists stumbled across hundreds of decapitated catfish bobbing around the water. Not only that, the eyes and the fins were still moving, and the fish heads made this disturbing grunting sound when brought on the boat. The cause was, catfish have several serrated spines for self-defense, and a gang of Gulf bottlenose dolphins apparently realized they could nerf the catfish by surgically beheading them. But so far, we've seen dolphins working harder, not smarter, with seagulls, sponges, and catfish all being collateral damage. That doesn't explain dolphins being a jihad to other animals unprovoked. Dolphins in Belize have been attacking and even life-depriving baby manatees. They've even gone as far as separating manatee calves from their mothers to make an attempt on their life. This is the same animal that finessed its way on an alligator's whitelist, getting folded by a pack of flippers. Dolphins are literally if hippos went the Professor X route, lost their legs but gained hyperintelligence. Which isn't a joke since the closest living relative to whales and dolphins are hippos. But the animal that gets it the absolute worst from dolphins are the ones that look the most like them. Dolphins have a homicidal obsession with porpoises, with cases of them washing ashore with bite marks and broken bones. It's like they can't help themselves for real. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Put a porpoise in their presence, and it's like the Powerpuff Girls going Gotham City on a green monkey. In 2016, one lone male bottlenose flatlined at least 6 porpoises, and the injuries were roughly the same. Fatal hemorrhages, broken bones, and lacerated lungs. No one knows for sure why dolphins are purposely committing acts of war, but the best guess involves how dolphins behave with each other, because if you thought they were better to their own kind, you don't understand the depravity of this malice-fueled middle finger. Dolphins regularly commit the act of infanticide, with males often harassing and separating the mother from her defenseless calf and escorting it off the census. It's a classic case of deleting the baby to have a shot at the now child-free mother. Plenty of animals like horses and hippos do this, but no animal takes baby abolishing as far as dolphins. There was a case where a mother orca and her adult son worked together to drown a baby killer whale, also the son could sensually explore the mother that watched them do it. In 2020 in Mutsu Bay, Japan, researchers witnessed a gang of dolphins pull up on a mother and her calf and begin mauling the baby. What shocked them was suddenly the first group stopped harassing the dolphin calf, only for a second group to show up and go at him even harder.
Dolphins are fucking savage. Holy shit. Like, I got nothing for this. Like, this is nuts. There's like no getting around it. This is fucking nuts. So fucking nuts.
For well over an hour, 23 different dolphins got involved, and a newbie dolphin was sent to the gulag after being hit over 100 times. And knowing what we now know about dolphins, that might have just been business as usual. Dolphin Society is like an episode of Oz, and like the show, it all starts with the men. When a male dolphin is young, they'll form a group with 2 or 3 others, and these will be the closest bonds these males will ever have, as these alliances can last decades. But it's not just kumbaya. The main reason for them linking up is these dolphins will kidnap lone females and keep them in custody for weeks, while they mate with her the entire time, consent sold separately. These dolphin gangs are highly possessive and even have a specific pop sound to tell the female to swim closer, and she can get jumped for not complying. The females usually fight back, but only escape about 25% of the time. Not only that, but these water Weinsteins mate year-round, meaning an unlucky female can get tagged by multiple gangs in one trip around the sun. 3 dolphins acting as the musketeers of malice are known as a first-order alliance. There's also a second-order alliance, with additional dolphins doing the dirty work for the group, work including attacking other pods, stealing their females, while protecting their own from equally lust-crazed males. Basically, the first-order alliance is like a basketball big 3, with the second order being the role players. Of course, sometimes 2 second-order alliances join forces to create, a third-order alliance. Not only does this mean dolphins have the largest non-human social network on the planet, they use it to operate like a pack of C-ditties. Penetration without permission is so rampant that female dolphins actually evolved the same equipment as ducks, where they're, yeah, those are maze-like to flush out any unwanted baby batter. But the male's response was dolphins developing a 12-inch pink prehensile bedroom arm. Speaking of which, male dolphins aren't even safe from each other. Non-allied males assert dominance by biting, jaw clapping, tail slapping, and mounting. The Brokeback kind. Remember, it's Ocean Oz out here. To be fair, that's also how they play, and young male dolphins will actually practice on each other and take turns being the female long before they try it on a real one. And there's nothing wrong with that. Except dolphins have a nasty habit of projecting. I'm 99% sure the porpoisides and manatee maimings were because both animals look like the babies of their own kind. Which is pretty insane logic. Imagine someone on trial for running over the vertically deficient, only for their main defense to be that they thought it was a child. Porpoises and sea blimps aren't the only ones catching strays. Since 2022, more than 45 people have been attacked while swimming in Fukui, Japan, leaving many with broken bones and bites. And it's believed these attacks were carried out by one male Indo-Pacific bottlenose dolphin. And it's been said the reason for this one-man dolphin demon campaign? Horny. Scientists think this dolphin is sexually frustrated and lonely and is taking it out on the humans around him. And the scariest part? There's a good chance he's only playing. Because if a 9-foot, several hundred-pound flesh missile wants you dead, you're simply dying. People say the rogue dolphin will often swim up to people and try to press his pink sword against them, which is actually the same way dolphins in an alliance act, so he's really just acting out natural behaviors, but on people, only to lash out when they don't respond. He's not the only one. As you know, I went to the Cayman Islands earlier this year, and you'd think the most dangerous part would be me getting intimate with a stingray. It was actually me swimming in the same waters as Stinky. Stinky was a lone male dolphin infamous for trying to violate divers that meet his eye. One victim, Michael Mays, recounted how he and his wife were snorkeling and enjoying Grand Cayman when the menace named Stinky showed up. Michael tried warning his wife before Stinky charged her, slamming into her repeatedly. Someone should have warned Michael that he was what Stinky was after, as the dolphin attempted to dork Mike in front of his own wife. And you know dolphins don't discriminate, with both Jessica Alba and Demi Moore seeing just what happens when a dolphin decides to go on booty warrior timing. In fact, one dolphin's impulses likely ruined a man's life. Alan Cooper was an animal rights activist who also became close with a dolphin named Freddie. Not that close. We actually met in the wild, but was now living in Flamingo Land. Except one day, Alan swam with Freddie, and bystanders watched and swore that Alan was getting handsy with the dolphin, and he would end up getting accused of going Rocky Balboa on little Freddie. Papers called him a dolphin diddler, and it went all the way to court. Whole time, all that really happened was Freddie got a little too homosexual and wrapped his prehensile trouser tongue around Alan's arm. Even with the case thrown out, Freddie's freak-off was a stain that largely derailed Cooper's career and killed almost any chance he'd ever have of being taken seriously. Yeah, there's a reason why legends say that Amazon river dolphins will shapeshift into men at night and impregnate young women before changing back in the morning.
I'm sorry. Run that by me one more time. Shape-shifting dolphin?
Any chance he'd ever have of being taken seriously. Yeah, there's a reason why legends say that Amazon river dolphins will shapeshift into men at night and impregnate young women before changing back in the morning. Dolphins are like the chimps of the sea, but where chimp society revolves around violence, dolphindom is centered around getting their rocks off. But dolphins can be just as dangerous as any wild animal.
I didn't know about.
Pretty privilege makes you forget it's a hyper-intelligent, pack-hunting super predator that could fold you 7 ways to Sunday if they wanted. And no dolphin showed that more than Chiao. Chiao was a male bottlenose dolphin that showed up in São Sebastião in Brazil in the mid-90s, where he was popular for his friendliness around humans, especially women, to the point where he started to see other male humans as a threat, and this time he wasn't playing. By December 1994, Chiao had sent nearly 30 people to the hospital, including one case where he attacked 2 men, breaking one's ribs and killing the other. So as you can see, dolphins commit atrocities against the world around them, against humanity as a whole, and even against their own kind. But do you know what actually makes them evil? It's not rhetorical, because there isn't anything I've said about this wombfish that something in nature doesn't also do. Yeah, dolphins wake up feeling like Jordan. So do lions, hippos, and zebras. That's 3/4 of the cast in Madagascar. Yeah, dolphins do the unspeakable with fish, but I've seen chimps get downright deplorable with a frog. Chimps will also murk rival children and then turn them into lunch meat. Yeah, dolphins are basically eternal erections, but penguins are so deviant they traumatize the researcher. First seals have been seen defiling penguins, and speaking of seals, researchers have documented mateless male sea otters breaking baby seals with no approval. The point isn't to pass the buck to someone else's favorite animal, it's that these animals are just trying to survive. Dolphins are just that much better at it. If other animals could, they would. Hell, we can, and we have. Early cavemen also cannibalized human children, and meal prepping was somewhat regular. And before you judge otters and penguins, in 2022, 4 men were arrested for the crime of assaulting an endangered monitor lizard. And no amount of wordplay will let me talk about what people did to Pony the orangutan. Just know, if I can't speak on it, it must be bad. I mean, if you believe in alternate realities and that art mirrors life, then you also believe that somewhere in the universe, there's a dolphin with a snapback and a tiny mic talking about how humans are the spawn of Satan behind a green screen of this guy. Morality is really a social construct, and I think dolphins were just smart enough and just cute enough for us to move the goalposts and judge them by human standards. Then I think people be trying to correct all the shark slander, which is probably a crazy thing to hear from the same guy that made this. Here's my thing. Everything I said dolphins do in this video is true, at least to my knowledge. But when I'm calling them a sea diddy or a water Weinstein or Satan's 9-foot hate boner, we call that a sentence enhancer. Especially when I'm calling something a homicidal threat to national security. Kind of a what you say, not how you say it. Am I backpedaling? I don't think so. I mean, I love animals. I don't want you to watch my videos and go drop kick an otter, or pray chimpanzees go extinct, or hate dolphins. I don't even hate dolphins for real. There's also the whole overcorrection thing. I feel like there's 2 ways people see animals. There's the Disney side, the side that told people elephants think we're puppies, and the side that convinced Buddy this was a good idea. And then you got the side that would legitimately sleep better at night if Thanos would have had beef with dolphins. The thing is, both sides can get the animal put on a shirt. Bad PR almost got sharks and wolves wiped out. At the same time, Freya the walrus had to get put down because people literally wouldn't stop getting too close to her. Because the worst thing a wild animal can do is forget its fear of humans. The part of Chiao's story I didn't tell you was the part where people kept harassing him, even trying to pour beer and stick ice cream cones down his blowhole before he started fighting back. What I think is, for decades, people looked at dolphins with Disney glasses, and sharks were the monsters, and overcompensation has it flipped, where really neither animal belongs on either side. Elephants are my favorite animals, and they're probably the best example of this. In 2011, a herd of elephants showed up to their caretaker's home after he died, and held their own 2-day vigil, and would return every year on the same day to mourn him. An elephant also traveled over 100 miles to flatline a 70-year-old woman only to desecrate her corpse.
I did hear about that.
This elephant was filmed trying to rescue a rhino stuck in a pit before lions could get to him. Elephants were also responsible for running through rhinos like a yellow light. Dolphins aren't evil prison bullies or innocent sea angels. They're just dolphins. But maybe I haven't talked enough about the other side of dolphins. Like, dolphins have specific names for each other that they'll respond to. They also recognize each other by urine, so they really got a whole two-factor authentication. Pregnant dolphins will teach the unborn calf its name by singing it constantly, while it's still in the oven. Speaking of babies, newborn dolphins don't sleep for the entire first month of their life, which means neither do their mothers. Dolphins are highly emotional, and just like elephants, they also mourn the dead. One orca made headlines when she carried her lifeless calf on her nose for 17 days and over 1,000 miles. And with orcas, they're one of the few animals on the planet to go through menopause, and the most likely reason is so elderly orcas can stop worrying about being mothers and instead focus on being grandmothers. That matriarch system is why dolphins, especially orcas, have not just their own cultures, but they even have trends, just like us. For example, in the 80s, one orca was seen carrying a dead salmon on her head for no reason but a fashion statement. And in less than 2 weeks, the orca influencer had not just her own pod, but 2 others doing it. Things like that are how orca OGs pass knowledge down. They even have their own way of disciplining children. Sometimes when dolphin calves wander too far, the mother will toss the calf in the air as punishment, repeatedly, for up to 40 minutes straight. But considering wandering off can get the baby canceled by a pack of males, I see where she's coming from. But males aren't even that bad. Dolphins will often have their version of a midwife, a dolphin auntie, that assists with birth and helps with the calf. And sometimes this dolphin auntie is actually a male. And of course, you got stories of dolphins saving people from drowning and sharks, but one dolphin went way off script. In 2008, a mother pygmy sperm whale and her son got stranded, and rescuers spent more than an hour trying to return them to sea, and even considered putting both of them out of their misery. That was until popular bottlenose dolphin Moko appeared and led the trapped whales through a narrow channel back to sea, saving them both. A year later, Moko nearly drowned a woman he was playing with because he got too excited to let her return to shore, and she almost got reverse baptized. You see that? Duality. So yeah, I don't hate dolphins, I don't hate any animal. I'm not fully bending the knee, I'm gonna still get my jokes off when I can. But moral of the story, manatees are the most wholesome creatures alive, and last year one named Hugh past tense after a bigger male confused him for a mate and literally ripped him a new one. The worst part? It was his brother. If they can do that, dolphins can't be that bad. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Make sure you drink water, hug your mother, don't hug a dolphin unless you're prepared to end up like Hank. And I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.
Aww.
Oh, man.
That was definitely an interesting trip. I knew dolphins could be terrifying, and smart, and a lot of other things, but that was a lot. Still probably one of my favorite animals, though, regardless.